Hello, everyone. Welcome to MUPO and Friends. We are Holly Lombardi,
And I am Michele MUPO.
and you can catch all our shows at www.mupoentertainment.com. We are brought to you courtesy of MUPO TV, and you can also live chat with us every Sunday at the release of our new episode on our YouTube channel at MUPO Entertainment. Michele?
And make sure that you join us on MUPO and Friends as we bring to you the inside look at all your favorite celebrities and community leaders. We'll go through their lives, their careers, their passions, and what they are doing to impact the world. Don't forget, tune in Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern.
All right. That's right. We love bringing you fun, relatable content you can enjoy. But first, Michele, how was your weekend?
My weekend was MUPO awesome.
How is it MUPO awesome? I heard you were taping with your fabulous little dogs.
I actually Monday, see my weekend, I don't really have weekends anymore because I work all the time. I'm always doing something, but I got in some good meditation. I really meditated Sunday. I did a lot of
Nam Yoho Renge Kyo.
I did Nam Yoho Renge Kyo, and I also got to see some family members, which were really cool, like my nephew and,
Yeah, you have a big family. You have quite a historical family as
Italian.
well. Oh, of course.
It doesn't get any bigger than Italians, right?
That's right. Now I have my MUPO Familia in Jersey. So we're going to take a quick break, folks, but thank you for tuning in. And we are going to be right back with a real treat for you. We have a fun guest today, so stay tuned. Welcome back to MUPO and Friends. Our special guest today has come from being an accomplished businessman in the business trades industry, corporate IT, website and branding, to a multi-talented actor, producer, cameraman, photographer, stuntman. What hasn't he done? He owns his own production company, Kamikaze Dogfight. You've seen him in Watchmen, Logan, Preacher, Don't Look Back. And you'll get to see him in the upcoming Reminiscence with Hugh Jackman. Currently, though, he stars as the villain, Pham Minh Thao, in season 3's Netflix Cobra Kai. Please give a warm welcome to Han Soto. Hello, Han.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I need to have you around everywhere introducing me. That was wonderful.
It's great to have you.
That was MUPO wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
It.
Well, we love the show. First of all, I have to say that. And you are a great villain.
Thank you. How many times have you watched it?
I've watched it twice. I'm going through the second. I rewind, fast forward, rewind, fast forward. That's how I watch things.
Yeah. You get Easter eggs every single time you do that.
I love it.
So you were in the scariest part because I'm afraid of snakes.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of people are afraid of snakes. In fact, I took some of those snakes home with me.
Why?
The fake ones. And I forgot I had it in my carry-on, and TSA lady just freaked out at the Atlanta airport. Like she screamed. There was a high pitch that I didn't think a human being could hit. She hit it. And she just looked at me. She goes, "You knew that was in there." I said, I forgot. Sorry.
Wow. I would have probably had to gone to the hospital. So
I once wrapped a cobra around my neck, not realizing it was a cobra. Oh yeah, I played, but that's
wow.
We'll tell you the backstage story on that.
Yeah, what'd you think it was? Like a reptilian scarf?
Something like that.
No, she probably just thought it was a garden snake or something.
No, it was a dare.
She's from LA.
Yeah,
it was a dare.
We're daring like that.
See, over here on the East Coast, we run from snakes.
Yeah. I feel like that with rats.
Well, rats are all over New York City, so
yeah,
I mean, you see them walking
cool,
down
though.
the street.
New York City rats are like, they got their own thing
scary.
going on.
They don't mess bother with you. Yeah, they don't bother you. It's almost like what's that TV show, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yeah. But they got that bubonic plague wet look going, so I stay away from.
I screamed at bugs. Okay, so That was just a one-time thing. I don't normally go wrapping snakes around my neck.
Good for you. Good for you. All right, we're still good. We could be friends.
Okay.
Well, you were a big fan of the Karate Kid movies. So
Yes.
when you originally first saw that you were going to be on the Karate Kid, what did you ever imagine it? Because I know that you're into that. Like you imagine things and it comes true.
This is one thing I don't think I actually imagined. And it just kind of, everything happened so fast. I got the call, and they told me what it was. Didn't really dawn on me until I actually showed up on set and pulled into, to the set and the snakes, and just being the man. I was the man on that set. That was my set because no one else was above me in rank in terms of character, and everything I said was the law, right? So it was nice to walk on like the king, and I stayed in that character until I finished, so it was crazy. And there was a moment I was driving back to my hotel and I was just, it's just one of those like, wow, that just happened. Like that just happened,
You're like pinching yourself.
Yeah. Because one of the producers actually leaned, he watched me kind of stay in character, and I saw him come, and I kind of let him in, and he goes, "How does it feel to be the baddest mofo in Karate Kid history?" I'm like,
nice.
It feels really good. It feels good. But little did I know, it didn't hit me till later when it actually aired. My friend was like, "Dude, you're the reason why this called Cobra Kai." And I joke about it. I'm like, if I was into like kangaroos or koalas, it'd be Koala Kai, or which I think that's actually something that
is something.
A commercial, right?
Yeah.
That great commercial with Quicken Loans or something. QuickBooks.
You are a bad guy on that show. What part of yourself did you incorporate to make him relatable?
I'm generally like a nice natured guy. So part of my homework is just creating these characters. I create these guys, and then when I'm satisfied with kind of the things they like to do, the things they like to smoke, things they like to eat, things they hate, things that they torture. Once I'm satisfied with that character, I put them back on a shelf. I work on another character, and once in a while I'll revisit it and just put myself on tape for it. So this guy, he's actually, I brought this characteristic into one of the shows that I did for, God, I forgot what it was called, In an Instant. And it was a true story about four Asian kids who took over like the biggest hostage takedown in history, right? So I pretty much took that character that I was building and put it on that Vietnamese guy. In that one, he had a gun and he was young, and he just made stupid mistakes. But after I shelved him, when I was done, I was able to use him again in Cobra Kai. And this time, he had a little mustache going on, which not a lot of people really are fans of the mustache. It takes me like 8 months to grow it. Wow. But no, it was nice to bring him back to life, and I'm hoping to bring him back again under like really. I really don't know how extreme I can get with this guy, because he can do so many things, right? He can torture. Right. The way he tortures, I mean, he puts cigarettes out in people's eyeballs. Like that's the kind of work that I did for this guy. And
how do you build that energy to get that mean when that's not really in your nature? And then I heard you decompress by actually you're into meditation.
Yeah. So I was bullied. I was bullied from 6th, 7th, and 8th grade every single day, like to the point where there's only 2 exits of the school, and I walked home from school. The one bully was in the back, the other one was in the front. So I had to dig a hole to the side of the fence, go to my friend's house and do homework there till everybody dispersed, So I channeled that because, although I've forgiven them for what they've done,
right.
You don't forget that kind of stuff. And I remember like how it makes me feel when that happens.
Michele can relate to that.
I can relate to that. Yeah.
And Michele, it could be anything from like a sound of a footstep, or like just the way somebody snickers. And, that's, I pick those trigger points to be able to turn it on whenever they go action. So it's all part of the work. It's but that is like the most like traumatizing part of my life is just going 3 years as a middle schooler, you know, who just got bullied every day. And it wasn't just after school. It was like during the hallways. I'd have to find different routes to go from one class to another. And it was just horrible. I mean, it was
awful.
I would never wish that on anybody. But now it's a different kind of bullying now. And you see all that in Cobra Kai, right? It's like a lot of social media stuff. So I don't know how I would have navigated those waters. Because for me, it was just, oh, if I see them, I can avoid them. And once you avoid them, they're avoided, right? They can't go and text you or go on your Instagram or whatever and bully you from there. So I feel for kids growing up these days. Like it's a different kind of bullying.
Me too. I was in the post office today, and this lady was saying, and I didn't even tell you, Holly, this lady was behind me, and I thought she was yelling at me, and I was ahead of her waiting to, I was mailing out the packages, and I turn around and she kicked some guy. The guy got close to her, and they took it into another room. Like, it was crazy. And I was like,
post office?
Oh my God, this lady was kicking his butt. I don't know if she knew him, but she grabbed him like she grabbed her kid. Like, she would grab, how you grab a kid, come on over here. But yeah, the fact of people being bullied all the time, it's really sad. Like, you really should treat people the way you want to be treated. And people don't do that because, you don't know what really happened to them that made them offset, but it happened so fast that I was kind of nervous because, I'm leaning on something with boxes because I can't really stand up. It was a little nervous for me, but I don't know how it was cool. And the whole thing I kept thinking was, I couldn't wait for this interview.
There you go.
I don't think,
awesome.
No, but it's true because I was so excited because I'm a huge fan of the Karate Kid. And when you came on, it was like, wow, they backtracked. That was really smart of the writer to do that.
Yeah.
You see how crazy this guy was. And
look, 30 something years, they've never peeled that piece of the onion back.
I know.
Yeah.
The first time you get to see it.
Yeah. It's great. It's great how the characters go back and you I remember the scene where they're like he looks at the car, the kid, and he goes, with the wax on, the wax off, because that was such a saying, back in the day.
People still say it.
Yeah.
I know. I would have liked to have seen Elizabeth Shue though, in it more.
Man, look, how do you think it feels to have to keep that secret?
Oh, I knew she was coming back.
Yeah, well,
I knew. I had an insider.
A lot of people had an inkling, but I just had to play poker face. I'm like, NDAs, man. Sorry.
I know, right?
I know. You got to love them NDAs.
NDAs are real.
So you said that the set for Vietnam was one of the most elaborate sets ever. They had to drop it in, and then drop it. How did they do that? Like, can you explain that?
They built the bamboo kind of like the huts, and I don't think they built it and dropped it in. I think they built it on site. But what made it really nice was, a lot of these sets you're on, it's all on stage or at a pre-built set already, and there's only a lot of, you dress it up, right? But this one, you really had to chop down some trees and cut branches and make sure it's safe, A, and B, that it actually looks like, Vietnam, and, you're dealing with outside, you're dealing with the weather, the overcast. They had a Chinook, like a helicopter. I didn't see it fly in. I kept thinking, like, how the hell did they bring that in here? And then they flew it out. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. Wow. Yeah, it was powerful. It's just like to be able to, and they did it. I remember they did it on one of our scenes when we ended it. And I was like, okay, this feels real. Like, this is it, and it's just such a deep wording. Yeah. It's like, it's amazing. But they did a great job. They did an amazing job. They did a lot of the work for us. Like, you really didn't have to pretend you were anywhere. Like, you were in it, but yeah,
they brought it to life.
They did.
Yeah, they brought it to life. I know you're very much into history and mathematics, two of your favorite subjects. So the history, I don't know, just kind of a crystal ball. It just tells me things.
Where did you read that?
So you obviously knew a lot of the history going into this to prepare for the character. I'm sure that was very helpful to you.
Yeah, so I was born in Vietnam. I don't know if you, I don't think I've ever said that on any of these podcasts.
I knew it.
Yeah, so I was born there.
You're born there, but you grew up Louisiana.
Yeah, I grew up in Louisiana. But like we fled Vietnam when I was 6 months old. And crazy story is like we were going down the river in a small boat, and I've been crying for like 2 days straight already. So some of the people in the boat grabbed me and wanted to drown me, to shut me up. And they actually put me in the water, like to drown. And my family fought him and pulled me back up. I stopped crying, and we passed a checkpoint, and then I started crying again.
Wow.
My goodness.
So we talk about like little things that could have happened that changes your life. Like if I would have kept crying, I wouldn't be here right now for sure. My daughter wouldn't be born. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things.
Yeah, we were talking about that before we came on, about how every decision, you were saying, every decision we make.
Yeah. And every decision, every event changes, it alters you into a different path, regardless if you think so or not, you know? So I made a lot of bad decisions. I made a lot of great decisions. And, you know, along the way, I developed a nice little tribe that, you know, we look out for each other. And, you know, like you say, OPS earlier, other people's stages, it's other people's mistakes, right? So you learn from other people's mistakes. Yeah.
That's how you learn. Now, when you brought your daughter up, so when your daughter saw the Karate Kid and there was bullying, what did she say to you? Like, how did you handle that? Because
she knows it's fake. She's watched me audition since she was like 2. So she had questions about the snakes and the gun, and, you know, did you really push him? You know, are those real guns going off, or are those like, you know, flares? You know, which explosions are real? She's got those kind of questions.
So she's really smart. That's awesome.
Yeah, she's 7.
I see a future director there.
Yeah, no, she's I love watching her just play, you know, be a kid. But yeah, she auditions and stuff too. So it's nice to watch, because you can't force them to be what they don't want to be, right? So right. It's nice when she gets an audition, I get to watch, like, and my wife is like, oh, that's totally you right there. What she just did, you know?
I saw a picture of you on Instagram with her, and you're like, I swear she didn't look at my outfit before she got dressed today. You're both.
Was that the rock climbing one?
Yes, the rock climbing one. You're both are in like an identical, like, shorts and t-shirts. Yeah, it's such a beautiful father-daughter photo. I love it.
Thank you.
You have been a big part of the Marvel Universe family with cult hits like Preacher and Watchmen. Are you doing any of the conventions? Are you into the conventions? Have you done them? Are you looking forward to them?
I mean, with COVID, I haven't. You know, I had some stuff lined up, but it just kind of didn't happen, just because there were a lot of them didn't happen, right? So more of the Comic-Con stuff I'm doing is going to be for a game called Life is Strange: True Colors, and this is like the 3rd installment of the three games that they have right now, and the first 2 did very well. You know, it's very much based on it's a gameplay of emotions and storytelling, just the way the creative director crafted the story. It allowed us as actors to just bring this. You're gonna love it. I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna cry. Yeah,
it's beautiful. I saw a little promo for it. It's so gorgeous. Let's talk more about this. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be right back and talk some more about this. This is a very beautifully done piece. So stay tuned. Hello, everybody, and we are back on MUPO and Friends, courtesy of MUPO TV. As always, you can find us at www.mupoentertainment.com. We are here with our very special guest from Cobra Kai, Han Soto, and we were talking before the break about Life is Strange, True Colors, which is actually a game. Tell us about the meaning of the connection. I love how it talks about connection and the supernatural elements. Can you share a little bit more about that? It's so beautifully done.
Yeah, I can't really talk too much about it because I don't want to give it away. But
okay.
Basically, it's me and my sister have this connection, and she's got these powers that she can see people's auras and feel their emotions. Sometimes she absorbs it. But the game is a very story-driven game. We shot this thing for 2.5 years in Colorado, and it's pretty much in my backyard. And it's just so nice to be able to have it come to life. And all the fans from the 2 previous ones have been waiting for it, and Instagram, Twitter, everything's just blowing up right now.
It's exciting.
It's worth a check out. It's Life is Strange, True Colors.
And when is this releasing?
It's releasing in September 2021.
Okay.
Which is the same time Reminiscence is releasing as well. So
yes, keep an eye out for it.
See, that's funny because I was just gonna ask you about Reminiscence.
I knew. I felt like you were. That's why I did
it. See that? We're on the same wavelength.
Right there. Oh yeah.
Crystal balls.
So
ride the frequency.
Since you asked that question, I'm going to ask you a question. Tell me about your distribution company, Kamikaze Dogfight, and tell me why you picked just horror films. Why not comedy?
I actually so I did not pick horror films. Horror films picked me. And I was on the set, Don't Look Back, and I was watching this producer, Andrew Vandenhouten, walk around just making sure everyone on set was just doing okay. Like, hey, are you okay? Can I get you anything? And I just remember thinking, I like that guy. I want to work with him just because he's a good person, right? And this would have been my second movie as an actor of his. And so finally he sat down with me and said, hey, tell me about you, man. You've been in my movies before. I've never really got to know you. And I just started talking about, my film fund that I put together with some buddies of mine. And he said, man, too bad we didn't, we locked up all the investors already. And long story short, one of the investors fell out, and I came in with the fund, and I became a producer on it as well. This movie and that got us kind of close and talking more. And I like the guy. We share a lot of interests. He's like my brother, but I pitched to him to start a distribution label because I was seeing a lot of filmmakers just kind of getting screwed by distributors. And I just wanted to start something that people want to be a part of, and we don't have to go out and chase business, and basically just build a community and the culture behind an industry that's just been so so closed off with filmmakers, and all they do is just take films and distribute, right? And that's fine, but I wanted to bring a human element to it. Andrew, at the time, his bandwidth was low, so he said no to me. So I went to start it, and the guy who created my logo, Cody Chamberlain, is the reason why I met my wife. We talked about that earlier. Yes. But anyway, he's
pretty famous.
He's awesome. I love Cody. Yeah. He's got my heart, man, Cody. But yeah, so I set out to start this company and build it up, and I gave myself 4 years to do it. So Andrew has done movies like 13 Cameras, 14 Cameras. He just did the Block Island Sound. Worked with Gravitas a lot. So Gravitas came to him and wanted to give him an output deal, exclusive output deal, to distribute movies through their kind of platform. Wow. So he said, no. He said, I would only do this if Han does it. And basically, he told me, he said, I'll do it if you do it. And so the company got fast tracked 4 years, because all of a sudden we have this, backbone that we didn't put a ton of money into. And we like working with Gravitas. We like working with, their team, and we get to do what we want to do and let them kind of do that side of the business. Right. And it just works. The energy was just so organic, and
that's beautiful.
And we love all our filmmakers, and we yeah, it's just been great.
I just love to hear stories like this because he's such,
Right.
for those of you who don't know him, you got to get to know him because his aura is like, it's magnetic. No, really, like when you came on and then you started talking about your wife she's a Reiki healer. Like, how cool is that?
Yeah. I'm blessed. I'm so blessed.
You really, yeah.
It's the connections you make with people. Like we were talking about connections and connectivity. It's in the energy that you create around you.
It's so important.
What you draw in.
Yeah, it's so important. And that's how we kind of go about selecting our films. So we did start as horror, right? But now we're taking on other genres slowly, but our focus is on horror. But the thing is like this, the company is built around, like I said, the energy around the filmmakers. And I've turned down, my partner couldn't believe, like, you want to turn that movie down? I said, yeah, the filmmaker just didn't feel right to me. And as much as it pained me to turn down that and the money that would come in for it, because, we need the money to like build the business, right? But if you don't follow that and use that as like your compass, then I don't know, I feel like the company builds on something much, much stronger than just finances.
I agree.
That's integrity.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever it was. I just said no. I said no to it because my gut told me to say no. And with that loss, we got 3 better filmmakers, and it just works. It always works out.
I always say when one door closes, another one opens. You just have to be really receptive to the possibility and not the loss.
Yep.
And I know I watched the trailer, the Don't Look Back. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, I have to watch this. This is one of those that is going to have me screaming and popping out of my seat and jumping. I love those kind of films. So that was from Gravitas and your company as well.
Yeah, Gravitas and Red Arrow and Kamikaze Dogfight. Yeah, that was one of the first titles we kicked off the label with to release. So it was just exciting. I mean, everything worked together. Everything worked out. I mean, it's directed by Jeffrey Reddick, who did Final Destination. He created Final Destination. Like
pretty intense. So the premise starts around, for those of you that haven't seen it, this girl's jogging and it's a crime that takes place in a park where this guy gets beat to death, and that people just stand by and watch. And it really, kind of has a lot of inference to society when things happen and people just don't even help. They just watch. They passively allow, things to happen, even though they may not have been able to fully prevent it, but they didn't even do anything. And so, and it goes on. But you have to watch it. This is a seat popper. This is a popcorn in the air kind of. Yeah, absolutely.
The thing that's amazing with that is people can relate to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We're driven by a society of how many likes and views and going viral, right? So we let that kind of cloud our better judgment in what to do in those situations where, I'm sure, look, when you saw somebody, Michele, when somebody saw you get attacked, I guarantee you there was somebody watching.
Oh, I got trampled. Are you kidding me? The guy fell on the back of my knee, cut, my knapsack, and then stepped in my shoulder blade, took off, and my hand was caught in the door. People are still coming in and off
on a busy subway.
It was on a subway.
It was
busy subway. A lot of people around.
Don't ever take a train at 5 o'clock if you are not a regular.
PM.
Yeah, 5 p.m. because it was so full, and there was no seats. So I stood, where the doors open up.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot for me to say this, like we're taping this. So I was holding on to the pole and I had my knapsack on and I didn't have it on the other shoulder. So the guy could have literally just cut the strap, but he hit me from behind when the door opened up 2 exits before I was supposed to get off. He hit me real hard and I completely was unconscious.
Wow.
And when I didn't feel anything, I couldn't feel anything. So the cameras, I saw the cameras and then they lost the film. It was just another issue, one after the other, but things happen for a reason. And we are here today with.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. MUPO.
My mindset and the fact that he was on with Grant is even really cool. Grant Cardone, guys. I'm telling everyone to follow Grant Cardone. Well, now you got to follow Han Soto.
And you got to follow MUPO Entertainment on Clubhouse as well.
Oh yeah, you guys on Clubhouse?
Yeah,
Nice.
we are.
I just got on. I just got on because I've been I did this thing in Bentonville Film Festival when Samsung was doing a filmmaker. They were a filmmaking contest for high school kids. Well, I was one of the speakers and I was one of the presenters, and they ended up giving me a bunch of Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus.
Wow.
So I switched from iPhone to Samsung for 3 years, and I just got back on because I wanted to get on Clubhouse.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't it different though? Now it's like, to be honest, Samsung has a better camera, I think, but I have the Pro Max 11. I think, the 11 Pro Max. That camera's pretty good.
Yeah, I picked up the 12. I just went all out. I got the 12 Pro Max, and I'm like, this is, I'm fine with this. If I need a camera, I'll jump on my Sony A7R2.
Nice.
And film something. So
speaking about tech, you were into IT technology. That was your thing. I bet this is really helpful for you with film and everything you're doing right now. Are you very hands-on with all the tech part right now?
I like to understand like everything, like camera angles, and so I study how to direct. And I'm the type of person that if I'm acting, I had to learn how to write so that I can understand the beats and the tone of what page is which whenever I get the sides, right? So if somebody gives me like a page 47 and my character's supposed to do an audition, I know that tone of what that character is bringing in during that script, right? So that's kind of like it was a secret until I started talking about it, but it helped a lot of people from what I understand. So, and then with the writing, you learn how to direct, you learn how to, you learn how to do sound, and you respect it more. Right. You respect that what they're bringing to the table more, and you're not just that actor on set who just, hey, can I get a coffee? Like, I should go get my own coffee. I'm like, don't get me coffee. It's fine.
Great. Well, we're going to take another quick break. We're going to be right back because we want to talk about Reminiscence. Awesome. That's coming out. So stay tuned and we will be right back. And we're back on MUPO and Friends, and we are speaking with Han Soto. Han, you play a high-profile lawyer in the upcoming film Reminiscence with Hugh Jackman. What was it like working with Hugh? I know it wasn't your first time. And what nuggets can you share?
It was great. It was great to see him again. I shared a green room with him and Sir Patrick Stewart on Logan, and we just had nice conversations, and he remembered me on the next set, which I expected him to, because he's just that kind of guy. And we just picked up where we left off, and the roles were switched in this one. But I what can I tell you? God, I can tell you on one scene, I had Thandie Newton, I had Hugh Jackman, Lisa Joy, everybody was like watching, and this was on me. And I come out, I start to speak, and a bug flies into my mouth.
Oh no.
And I just go, hammer through, eat the shit out of this bug, excuse my language, and then just swallow it. And I start to do my lines, and it got stuck.
Oh no.
And I told Lisa, I was like, Lisa, I gotta go again. I got a bug in my throat, literally. And she goes, yeah, that's fine. So we just reset. But there was a lot of stuff happening in that scene. It wasn't just like it was a one shot on me. It was so many things that happened for my arrival. And I'll just say that. And resetting it's always like oh man, it's just a little more time wasted, and I hate wasting time. So but I'm glad she gave me another take. I needed it.
That's
Swallowed a
great,
bug.
though. That's such a great actor little story there, because
Yeah.
you know, trying to overcome even with a bug in your throat.
Oh man, I'm curious to see what kind of bug it was. So that thing was in there.
Share the premise of Reminiscence.
Yeah, the premise of Reminiscence is about a scientist who finds a way to relive his past or the past through his science experiments.
There you go.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
You're just going to have to watch it when it comes
You're just going to have to watch it in
Right.
September, and I believe it's on HBO Max. So and in theaters.
Question from a fan: Life is Strange, True Colors. Which is better? Could you give some details on that?
I cannot give details on it, but of course, I can tell you I die. Now that was going to be a secret.
Oh, come on.
That was going to be a secret, but they decided to do a whole marketing campaign around it, so I can say that. But there's more to it. So you got to play the game. You got to make sure you check in, and really play. My sister in the game is a dear friend of mine, and she's a sweetheart. Her name's Erica Mori, and this success couldn't have happened to a better person. She's the playable character. She is Alex in True Colors.
Yes,
Wow.
she is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can say that every game that this company does has just touched the hearts of a lot of people, and it's just the way they tell stories. And like technology, it just gets better and better. So they figured out a way to make it more fluid, and so the realism is there with the characters, and I don't know, I just think you really enjoy that game. This is the first time I'm talking about it because it just released. The announcement just released in March.
Yeah, the trailer dropped, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Trailer drop. Yep.
That trailer dropped, and I think what makes it really unique is the theme of it.
Oh, yeah.
You see a lot of games and like that, but they're always battling and fights and,
Yep.
and things like that, a little violence, but this is really centered around such a much needed and just such a warm theme. It really touches you.
Yeah. And I think I want to say everyone will resonate with it. It's not a matter of, oh, will this demographic resonate with it? I think everyone will, just because of the way it was written and how developed the characters are and things they go through. Everyone's been through it.
It's 4 years in the making, I believe, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Zach Garris is the creative director, and he's just amazing. I mean, the guy, I remember when he was there doing a pitch with us, and I looked at Erica and I was like, this guy is awesome. So it's, yeah, when you're in the presence of greatness, and Zach is one of them. So
Yes, you always have something nice to say. You know what? I want you to be on every billboard from all over the world.
that's sweet.
Like,
Thank you.
He's
I
the
just love
sweetest.
him.
He's the sweetest villain
I
we've
can't
ever
wait to
met.
meet his
The
wife.
sweetest villain ever.
No, like, I mean, you've got such a good heart, and I know you give to so many organizations. You're a giver. Like you have
I do what I can.
charitable events that charitable.
I do what I can.
I that just touched me when I heard that, and I was just like, this guy is just so genuine. You don't see that in a lot of actors that come on. I mean, actresses, the women, a lot of them are humble, but sometimes you get somebody coming on and you're on set with somebody. Did you ever work with anyone where they gave you a hard time and then you wound up being best friends with them or something?
No, I think it's been a pleasant experience. I get that question a lot. Is, have you worked with jerks or anybody who's been a diva? It's like, no. I think I really believe that the energy you put out is what you get back. Now, this was before I even tapped into that philosophy, and I was just kind of doing my thing and just being nice. I mean, it's a very simple human basic thing. It's just don't be a jackass.
No, that's true, but a lot of people don't get that, especially what's going on now with all the COVID and everything.
Yeah,
like they're disrespecting people. It's not cool. Like we need to really keep the peace and we need to stop people from bullying people and really get along with one another, because we're a shell. We have to worry about the inside. The inside is what you have to, get to know a person. That's what makes you like the person. not the outside. Because when that outside will perish as soon as you die. You know what I'm saying? It's yeah, I'm gonna put out there that you are out on every billboard in every movie, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do some meditation for you myself.
Oh man, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, I would think you would be too, because you've done so much, like Michele said, with the international relief organizations. You've helped kids in India. Tell people about that. And you also did. You were helping Asian students, I believe, that are relocating.
I mean, look, I was just in the right place at the right time, and I made a decision to help. And I had a skill set that was able to enhance, shed a light on what they were going through. And there was an organization in India that they were getting funding from, like, the Intercontinental Hotels, which is a lot of people in the U.S. who are part of that organization are of Indian descent. Right. So Mr. Patel, Aaron Patel, was our beneficiary, and he sent us over there knowing that we had these skill set to create a documentary so that they can see where their money's going. And when we got there, it was just like, I mean, we were just thrown into the mix. Right out of the airport, we landed in Mumbai at 2 a.m. and took a 4 to 6 hour van ride to Navsari, India. And I remember driving past all the trash that was on the road. It was like 2 in the morning, and all these kids were just digging through the trash. They wouldn't sleep. It was just, in the smell. I'll never forget the smell, and I'll never forget the charm that was dangling, because the roads were bumpy in the rearview mirror. And I actually took a picture of it. I have to find the picture, but some things you just don't unsee. And that was just leaving the airport. So when we got to the place where this one guy, I call him the Indian Santa Claus, right? He took on all these kids who were blind and deaf, and he did multiple schools, isolated them, and taught them societal skills to things like knitting and carpentry, and because if you're born with a deformity or some kind of defect, you're useless in India, right? So he took them all in, 500 people, 500 kids, just playing, cricket, and just full. It's all love. It's just all love, and they just latched onto you. And long story short, when we left, our translator, I'll never forget this visual. Bhaskar, if you're listening, I've been looking for you. But he was standing in the back and watching the van drive away, and I could see him just like wiping his tears. Like, we've developed such a bond with him. And I mean, it was all love. It was one of the most amazing trips I've ever had, and I think I say that with a lot of places, just because it's different experiences at different parts of my life and my journey, so that at that time, India was the first time I've experienced that. And the welcome of these kids who just don't have, and I tell you this, I didn't drink Starbucks for like 3 months when I got back. You go somewhere and you're like, oh, it's a $5 cup of Starbucks. I don't mean to knock Starbucks down, but it's some things you don't really need when you get back, once you see people lacking.
That is true. That is true.
3 months was a long time for me to not have Starbucks.
Bring tears to my eyes.
I haven't been to Starbucks in a year.
Yeah, I haven't had a Starbucks in years, because I have my own espresso machine now. But
nice.
I mean, it was one of those, like, I'll just never forget it. I will never forget those kids, ever. Blind kids. It's fascinating to watch blind kids play cricket, because they have a rattle in the ball, and that's how they hear.
Very good hearing. Yeah.
And they were good.
Wow, that's beautiful. That is so beautiful. Yeah, they're special. They're very, very special. That's such a thank you for sharing that, because that is.
Oh, you're welcome. There's
so many. These are the stories that we like to share, and we like to.
Holly's about to cry.
I know. I am. No. I am. I'm just so deeply touched with especially kids in the world. We live in we're so spoiled in our comforts in the United States. We so worry about things that really, are
Don't matter.
meaningless.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
don't matter.
don't really matter. And the real value of life is seen when you do things and you explore the world and you get to experience things like you have. Yeah, you have, from the things that you've shared, really have the makings for a book. I see you writing a book. Absolutely.
Well, he writes scripts
Life.
too, right?
Yeah.
Don't you
Yeah,
write
right.
scripts?
No, but
What?
a book of your life,
Yeah,
your
I write it
travels.
down. I write it all down. I
Mhm.
write my thoughts and my feelings. Like it's a memoir, if you will, but it's really for me. So
Do
I
you
don't.
set goals?
Oh yeah, yeah. I set new goals. I don't just set one. I set new ones, and when I feel like the one I set is easily obtained, I kind of set new ones and figure out how to just change it. Everything's changing, right? Everything kind of is malleable. So I feel like goals are malleable as well as you just go on through life. Um,
And
yeah,
You're scaling your
now,
goals.
I
scaling
read
my goal.
somewhere that you said 2020 was your best year of your life. Like, can you describe that? Because a lot of people don't think that. I
You
do. I thought
know,
it was one of my best years too, but
So did I.
yeah. We started the distribution label during that time. Acting kind of died down a little bit, obviously, and I mean, I was able to go shoot Outer Banks, thankfully. Like that was cool, right? And
That's
and
great.
I got to experience that shooting during COVID, so I can really understand it in conversation with people. But um, the being able to wake up at 3 a.m. and and have a Zoom call with a filmmaker in Ireland, and I want to say like 6 a.m. it was Australia, and then by 9 a.m. I was talking to somebody in UK, and I was making myself a sandwich by noon in Colorado.
Wow.
And I was still in my, let's say, pajamas, but I got a Christmas Story pants that I wear. That is pretty cool. but like I didn't have
Are
to
you
travel for it.
are you wearing them right now?
I'm not.
Okay. If the answer was yes, I was going to make you show.
I know.
I love that rock behind you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's an amethyst from Uruguay.
Wow. That's really cool.
Yeah, it clears bad energy in a space and fills it up with good energy.
So what does this one do? Can you see this one?
I don't know what that does.
Someone said it was a Citron or something.
Citron. Yeah,
I
I have one similar. I have to look it up.
I got it.
If you ask my wife, she'll know.
Yeah, I want to find out because it's shaped like a tongue, and the guy gave it to me. He's actually from Vietnam as well, and
Oh really?
he like you have how many dialects of Vietnamese do you know? Because you know a couple, right?
I know 3 or 4 dialects.
Because you know how you did one different than you did I heard you do something, and I was like, wait, those are different dialects, just like Italian, they have different dialects.
Yeah.
And I noticed, I'm like, wow. And then that's why I asked you today if you were a Buddhist, because I'm obsessed with that.
Yeah. It's I study the dialects in like old VHS tapes from a long time ago when I was growing up. So that what we know now as series that are streaming, we used to have to go to the video store and rent like 20 different VHS tapes and watch it and have it rewound. We had 2 VCR players where after you finish watching, you put in the other one to rewind it. So you don't have to wait. Yeah. So that was kind of like what I grew up with. Right. By the way, Italy is one of my favorite places. Like we spent some time in Portugal, Northern Italy.
Beautiful.
Nice.
I love it. I'm glad we did it before COVID. So, but yeah, anyway, Vietnam, the dialects, I was fascinated by that. So when I went back to visit, being able to understand while we were traveling up and down Vietnam was a treat,
That's cool.
And they couldn't believe that I understood and spoke and read and write Vietnamese because I was raised in the U.S. So
is that
my
not
culture,
normal?
No, they call it don't lose your native tongue.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard. It's hard because like I'm trying to teach my daughter Vietnamese, but it's really hard, Yeah, native Citron tongue.
Yeah, can you imagine? What is this? No, it looks like a tongue. No.
You're like, I have my native tongue right here.
No, someone said hold on to this. Whenever you get nervous, you just rub it. And I was like, okay. So I carry it around with me and people are like, what is that? I'm like, I don't know. Don't ask. I don't even know how to explain it because it really does look like a tongue that, you know.
Hey, you know what? Always speak your mind and never bite that stone.
There you go. There you go.
I'm so cheesy.
I love it.
You're both cheesy.
Are you sure you're not from New Jersey?
You're on the right show. Not
funny.
the right cheesy show. I didn't mean that. Share with us your motto, Ubuntu.
Yeah, Ubuntu is it's an African proverb. It's from the Nunjabi. It means I am because we are. And I was told that basically somebody did a test in Africa, and they told these kids that, hey, first one to that basket gets all the food, right? So the kids didn't rush to beat everybody else. They linked arms and they got there together. And then, they asked the fastest kids, like, why did you not run there? And he's like, I'm nothing without my people. So if I'm celebrating and they're out there starving, it doesn't make me any better than them, right? So it's a philosophy. I mean, I've taken it on in a very different way, in terms of like who I meet. And when I decide to do business with you, when I decide to work with you, it's because we are going into business, not because I need something from you or you need something from me. It's like, let's rise up together. And we say that a lot, right? We say it's lonely at the top, make sure you got your team around. And it's the same thing, right? It's just said differently. And it really resonated with me when I read that story. And I started doing more research about it. And I was just fascinated by what it stood for. And like, yeah, I love the word too. Ubuntu.
Say it again.
Yeah. Ubuntu.
And the meaning, I am
because we are.
I am because we are. It's all about playing team.
Yep.
Wait,
I am great because we are great.
You are great.
Ubuntu.
Ubuntu.
I am because we are.
She says it with like a Spanish accent,
well,
because she's
Ubuntu.
Ubuntu. Yo,
you got if you say it in the town, you're like Ubuntu.
So
Ubuntu.
Kenya coffee is excellent.
Yeah.
If you have anyone from Kenya that can ship you coffee,
I've had it. I've had it. Oh, it's great. It's I'm mad that I had it because I can't get it.
You know what's funny? Starbucks used to make Kenya coffee. I don't think they do. And they had, although I haven't been there in a year since COVID. So I just
I love my espresso shots. I feel like coffee and food bring people together. And that's two things I really love to do. So
well, food is a language of love, is a way of expressing unity and love, connection.
I love food.
Yep. I had to push. Okay, so I'll admit this now that we're cool. I had to push our meeting because I found one of those large green egg ceramic things on Facebook Marketplace, and it was near my. It's in my Sprinter van. It's too heavy to take out right now.
It's a what?
The eggs.
It's a ceramic. No. It's not an egg. It's shaped like an egg, but it's a smoker.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's charcoal, and I had to. It was near my daughter's art studio, so I was there, and I was like, I didn't know how long it would take me to load it up, and it happened quick. So that's why I jumped on early too, because it's like, so
things happen for a reason. Anytime.
You know how many people I'm going to feed with that thing?
There you go.
Ubuntu. I am full because we are.
No, but things really happen for a reason. Like I got some stuff done today.
All right, everybody. We're going to take a quick break, a little mini break, and we're going to be right back for the conclusion on MUPO and Friends and with Hans Soto. So don't go away.
back with the amazing Hans Soto.
Thank you.
So
it's been fun.
so many ways to pronounce your name, Hans Soto.
That's a leader name, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
You can say it 35 different ways.
I can't even say MUPO 35 times. Are you kidding me? Go ahead, Holly. So I'm gonna ask because we're gonna do this Jersey thing and get it out of the way. So you said Haymaker was one to watch, right?
Yeah.
Tell us why we have to watch it.
Well, I mean, look,
because you're in it for one, and you're
no, I'm not in it. We're distributing it.
All right.
And yeah, it's the amazing Nick Sasso. It's about a Muay Thai fighter who, has kind of developed feelings for a transgendered female. Yeah, it's just great. I mean, it's shot well. The composition's great. The scoring's amazing.
All right,
Nick's attention to detail will blow your mind. Like, this guy is incredible. And he's one to watch. He's one to keep an eye on. Nick Sasso.
I watched the trailer. I didn't. I guess you can do the spoiler alert since you're distributing it. But I wasn't going to give that away. But yeah, it's really interesting. Really
it's in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's in the trailer.
Well, it's.
Now, is it going?
It was subtle. Yeah.
Subtle,
it was
yeah.
subtle. Yeah.
So, how can we get it?
Just look it up online. Haymaker.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep, and you can't miss it. Google Haymaker and Kamikaze Dogfight. I forgot which platform it's playing on right now.
It gives you options like Prime. There's different options that you have to watch it on or rent it on. Yeah,
exactly.
And it is just so great talking to you. I mean, we could talk to you like all day, all night. We can keep going. But
I adopted him. He's my brother.
Yes, we got redheaded stepsister, and we're multicultural.
Part of the movie.
Oh yeah, we got everything covered on this call.
We got United Nations over here at MUPO Entertainment.
Yes, we do.
I wanted to tell, and this is a tough subject. The hate crimes that are going on right now against Asians. I mean, that breaks my heart that we are in a time where, after everything we've been through in the world for decades with, racism and prejudice, and that we are now experiencing this. And I just wanted to get your thoughts and on that and what you have to say. I mean, as a representative of people in your culture, and as somebody in the entertainment business who has a big voice.
Well, I'll tell you this. I mean, it'll break your heart even more to learn that this is not anything new. Mm. Like I was saying earlier, I've been bullied since I was 6th grade. People call me Ching Chong Gook. And it's bad. I mean, I was getting hit in the hallways just like they're getting hit on the streets, except now, with technology, we can actually prosecute and with you can't really, this has been happening for decades. The fact that it hit the news sheds a different light on it. It's the same light that was shed on the BLM movement and everything that, the people who had to sacrifice their lives so that these conversations can be had, right? And now with kind of the platform that we have, we're able to speak out and demand action for it. So yeah, it breaks my heart every single time, except this time we feel like we can do something about it as a unit,
right.
and we're stronger in numbers. Every race, every demographic is stronger in numbers.
You have the support of people like myself, Michele. I don't look at, I grew up, I was, thank goodness, I was brought up with no lines. Yeah. I never looked at someone else. I mean, I knew we had different hair colors. I mean, it was obvious what, we were unique, but I never classified people. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy to me. It just, I really, folks, people are people. And like Michele always says, right, Michele, we all bleed the same color.
Yeah.
Yep. And
I'm going to go get a shirt that says, I am Asian. Yeah. Let someone mess with me. I'm going to knock them out.
Is he gonna have a hand like every time you talk, you clap with the syllable? Let someone mess
Yeah.
with me.
Let
Right?
someone, yeah.
What
It
do you,
just irritates me because you
Yeah.
know what? I got picked on too. I mean, I'm not going to say what they said about me on the air because it was vulgar, but I'm saying picture red hair.
Yeah.
It's
No.
just, they stole my bike.
Mhm.
Spit at me, kick me. I would come home with like always, it was just not good. And
It's
it wasn't,
it's cruel. It's cruel, especially as children. But the fact that grown adults, this is what kills me, folks. Grown adults, and to anyone listening out there who's been a part of it, shame on you,
Yep.
because you're a grown human being. You need to be setting examples for the future, for the kids of the future. We talk about wanting to have peace and wanting to come together and wanting to you know not if this time that we just went through didn't teach us something about coming together, what will? The destruction of the world? I mean, when does it end, folks? I mean, come on. Everybody was born with the right to breathe the same
Yep.
air, the right to have abundance, the right to live their dreams, to create. Every human being deserves a space in this world. Whether you think the same, see the same or not, they deserve it. So think about that. Think about, put yourself in someone else's shoes for once, and stop being so selfish.
Yeah.
You know,
And your
you know,
silence,
yeah,
and your silence is equally damaging as well.
yeah.
So, just speaking from my personal experience, if people would have actually spoke up to these bullies,
Mhm.
I don't think I would have endured 3 years of that. But no one spoke up. No one spoke up. It wasn't until eighth grade that my
it's always the
homeboy, which I
eighth
stay in
grade.
touch with still now, 20 some years, Khalik Viscarando, and he came in. He was from another like area of the project, and he came in and we clicked, and he found out that I was getting bullied, and he's the one who stood up with his sister to these guys, and it never happened again.
Amen.
Amen.
And I owe,
That's
I mean, I
cool.
owe that guy. Yeah, I had lunch with him in Atlanta when I was filming Cobra Kai, actually, of all things. And I just, yeah, he hasn't
Yeah.
aged a day in his life, and he's just super amazing. He's always been, yeah.
I have a question though. All those kids that bully you, knowing who they know who you are now, and they probably everyone has seen the Karate Kid. Okay. And did you ever like run into someone from your past that bullied you and they denied it? Cause, oh, I didn't bully you or something like that. And meanwhile, that I did, but they were trying to be cool.
One of the bullies, he's actually, I won't say his name, but he's on ESPN. He talks sports, and he's just expressed what his son's going through with bullying. Now, I tried very hard. I'm human, right? So I'm like, oh, karma, that's what you get. But I caught myself and I said, you know what? I'm going to send love to that kid, and hopefully that he doesn't have to go through it and just break that cycle. But
Good for you.
I just feel like
Wow.
that's something that is happening to his son, because he really, like, he tormented people.
I think
not
that way
me.
too.
Yeah. And you got to catch yourself from thinking these bad things, or like saying, oh, they deserve it, because if you do that, you're them. You're just like
Yeah.
them. So
Yeah.
it was
You
hard
hold-
for me to go, I don't know his son, and I just hope that he doesn't have to go through that, but hey,
You
your dad
hold
did it to me. Yeah.
holding space in forgiveness. The I bet you know this. The Ho'opo'ono, the forgiveness chant. It's I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I
Oh,
love you.
yeah.
Ho'opo'ono.
Mhm.
And the monk that originally did this could actually heal people from another country. He would heal mental patients. He would heal people. And there was a whole thing I read about how you can visualize, you can forgive somebody in your mind with this. And it's I'm sorry, please forgive me. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And if you want to keep them back in your life, you embrace them in the visualization. If you want to go your own ways, you go peacefully. It's really beautiful. Really,
Yeah,
really
it's
beautiful.
true forgiveness. That's what it is, right?
You have to let it go and forget about it.
Yeah.
It's, you know what, it's hard. I'm not gonna lie, it is hard to do that. And that's all circling back to this, you know, the Asian hate and like everything that's happening in the world right now is this is all part of their DNA. This is like these are like lineage of things that are that they've grown up with. You can't expect them to just break that cycle because they learned something on CNBC or whatever, right? It has to be a practice of, you have to practice love. You have to practice, you know, suppressing or eradicating these ill feelings that you have in your mind and your body. Because if you don't face that trauma, or you don't face what your lineage has like deep rooted inside of you, then it's there, you know, you're never going to be able to heal from it. So, and this is something, when you talk to my wife, she's probably gonna talk about that too. Because this is where I learned it from, is it's all about understanding your lineage and where you came from, and you know, where do you break that cycle? Right. So that's the hard work. You know,
you have to stay grounded. You definitely have to stay grounded. I forgive a lot of people and forget, you know, I think I forget because once it's out the door, it's out the door. And you have to think that way. You have to be like, listen, if you're going to forgive, don't bring it up again. Don't keep repeating it. Just let it go. Yeah. Because the more you know, gravitate on hitting that same thing over and over and over again, the more you're going to get, it's going to affect you. It's just bad energy. You got to keep it. Yeah. Hey, if something bad happens, you know what you got to do? Just announce that it happened and find a way to fix it. Yep. And that's what I was taught. I was actually taught that by, I was taught by my Master Kim, who was Korean. Really? Yeah, nice. He used to say, like, because I went into the karate, you know, the dojo at the time. It was Black Belt Academy because I was getting bullied. So it was, you know, I love karate.
You mean to tell me you live in Cobra Kai right now?
Probably worse than that.
Pretty much.
Probably worse than that.
You went in because you got bullied, and then you found, I mean, that's. And
I had to pay for it myself too. Yeah. Like I didn't have my family paying for it. I paid for my own karate lessons, and I bought every tape, every book, at one point I used to, you know, I did the Ni Hao. I mean, Shay. I would, you know, come in and go, you know, jumpy position. I used to do it all. Right. But now you know, when I got assaulted, that was it, man. Yeah. You know, the worst part about it was I was always on my game, and I let my game down. So I learned from that point on not to let my game down ever again. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you were on the subway. You didn't even know.
I was naive.
You didn't even think it could happen, though. That's the thing.
Well, the guy behind me was Indian. I remember seeing the guy that was behind me that was Indian because I heard him talking, and I turned around. And then I remember now whether that was the same guy, because when they showed the cameras, the guy was a lot bigger. So it might have been somebody standing next to him, but it, you know, it is what it is. It happened and it slowed me down. So I'm going to be around till at least 107.
I just had the craziest thought right now that person that did that to you at some point or another is going to be watching MUPO and Friends.
He's dead. I know he's dead. You know why?
Oh, he is?
He has to be, because I have never seen him. And I went back in that neighborhood. I went repeatedly in that neighborhood so many times to find the guy and ask him why he did that. When all he would have had to do was say, hey, you know, what's in your bag? I probably would have said, let me here, you really need a computer? Let me give it to you. Just let me transfer my stuff. Yeah. I would have probably did that because I would give the shirt off my back to somebody, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, she would.
I mean, I see homeless people outside. That's why I did the Keep the Peace project, because I want to revamp the homes of the veterans, make it handicap accessible, put all the homeless people in there, and I want to create jobs.
That's nice.
And we're gonna actually have your company. We'll actually have you probably. Maybe you'll direct it. Because I could see stuff now. I see things. So for me to even say you're going to direct it, you're going to distribute it too, I think.
It's already done.
Crystal ball moment.
Let's save the world together.
Yeah, I love that.
No, we're serious. It has what a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. so much. So just the connection is awesome. Awesome. I want to do a fun thing we love to do. It's 3 little fill in the blank sentences or phrases. I start and you finish. You ready?
Okay. All right. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Drum roll, please. Do we have a drum roll? A new technology I would create.
Clean water machine.
Ooh.
For everyone.
Okay. Listening is
everything.
To achieve excellence.
You have to uplift everyone around you.
And I'm going to throw one more in because this is a fan question. How you make a perfect sandwich?
A perfect sandwich? Mm-hmm. Oh man, you got to panini it. You have to coat it with olive oil and panini it. Cut it in triangles and then stack the other triangle over the other.
There you go.
Definitely have mayo and tomatoes.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry now.
I know. Let's have lunch. So awesome. Thank you, Han Soto, everybody. It's been such a pleasure visiting with you. I know this isn't the last time. So look forward to meeting your wife and talking to her all about Reiki. Please look for Han Soto in Cobra Kai on Netflix and the upcoming Reminiscence scheduled for release on August 27th. It's also going to be streaming on HBO Max starting September 3rd. So you can watch his latest kamikaze dogfight project, Death Trip, on digital from Gravitas Ventures and Kamikaze Dogfight. You can also follow, like, subscribe to Han Soto, and that's HAN, capital SOTO, on Twitter at Han Soto and at Kamikaze Dogfight. Kamikaze, KAMAKAZE Dogfight. On Instagram at Han Soto, on Facebook and LinkedIn under Han Soto, and at the websites www.hansoto.com and www.kamikazedogfight.com. As always, thank you for tuning in to MUPO and Friends, courtesy of MUPO TV. You can watch this and other episodes at www.mupoentertainment.com. That's www.mupoentertainment.com. And don't forget to join us every Sunday, 2 p.m. for the live chat with us. That's right.
2 p.m.
2 p.m. Eastern time. Until next time, this is Holly Lombardi with Han Soto from Cobra Kai and our MUPO CEO, mastermind and host of MUPO and Friends and MUPO Entertainment, Michele MUPO. And we are over and out.